The sun was setting over the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest. It was November 5, 1975. A logging crew was heading home after a long day of hard work. The air was crisp and cool, the forest was quiet. These men knew these woods like the back of their hands. Their truck rumbled down a familiar dirt road. It was just another ordinary day, or so they thought. Suddenly, something changed. The routine drive was shattered by a strange and powerful light. A golden glow pulsed through the dense pine trees ahead. It wasn't a campfire. It wasn't a vehicle's headlights. This light was different. It seemed to be coming from a large metallic object hovering silently above the ground. The men in the truck stared in disbelief. Their hearts began to pound in their chests. The driver, Mike Rogers, slowed the truck to a stop. The engine idled, the only sound breaking the eerie silence. The object was shaped like a flattened disc. It was large, maybe 30 feet across. The light it emitted was soft but incredibly bright, illuminating the clearing in an otherworldly glow. One of the loggers, a young man named Travis Walton, couldn't just sit there. Curiosity, or maybe something else, got the better of him. Against the frantic shouts of his friends, he opened the truck door. He stepped out onto the cold ground. He had to get a closer look. He felt an irresistible pull toward the strange craft. His friends begged him to get back in the truck. He stood directly underneath it, looking up in awe. A brilliant, bluish-green beam of light shot out from the bottom of the craft. It struck Travis squarely in the chest. His body was thrown backward through the air as if hit by an invisible force. He landed hard on the forest floor. His friends watched in horror. They saw his body go limp. Panic took over, and they did the only thing they could think of. They hit the gas and fled. The logging crew didn't get far. They had to go back, but when they got there, something was terribly wrong. The clearing was empty. The strange glowing craft was gone, and so was Travis Walton. They searched the area frantically, calling his name into the darkness. There was no response. The crew drove to the nearest town, Snowflake, and reported what had happened. They burst into the sheriff's office, their faces pale with shock. They tried to explain the unbelievable story. Sheriff Marlon Gillespie listened, his expression a mixture of disbelief and concern. The official search began immediately. They found nothing. It was as if Travis Walton had simply ceased to exist. To clear their names and prove they were telling the truth, the remaining members of the logging crew agreed to take polygraph tests. The stakes could not have been higher. One by one, the men were strapped to the machine and questioned about the events of that night. The results of the polygraph tests were stunning. Every single member of the crew passed. While the investigation on the ground was heating up, Travis Walton was somewhere else entirely. His own memories of this time were fragmented and terrifying. He claimed he woke up in a strange, humid room. He was lying on a table in pain. Looking down, he saw a strange device on his chest. But the most shocking sight was the being standing over him. They were not human. He described them as short, with large, hairless heads and huge, dark eyes. He was overcome with terror. He fought back, pushing one of them away and scrambling off the table, desperate to escape. His next memory was of being in a different, larger room, almost like a hangar. There, he saw what appeared to be more conventional, human-looking beings. A clear mask, like an oxygen mask, was placed over his face. He resisted but quickly lost consciousness. He had no idea how much time had passed or what was happening to him. 5 days and 6 hours after he vanished, Travis Walton reappeared. A frantic phone call came into his sister's home. It was Travis. He was at a gas station in a nearby town, Heber, Arizona. He sounded weak and confused. His family rushed to find him. They discovered him huddled in a phone booth, shivering and disoriented. He was wearing the same clothes he had on when he disappeared, but he had lost weight and had a 5-day beard growth. He was physically and emotionally exhausted. Doctors who examined Travis found him to be dehydrated and distressed. He had a small puncture-like mark on his arm, but otherwise he had no major injuries. It was a strange medical picture. He had been missing for 5 days in the cold Arizona wilderness, yet he did not suffer from exposure. The story he began to tell about his time away was even more incredible than the one his friends had told. He spoke of being inside a craft, strange creatures, experiences that defied all logic. Travis also agreed to take a polygraph test. The results, however, were more complicated than those of his crewmates. The polygraph, meant to provide clarity, only added another layer of debate to the already complex case. The Travis Walton case quickly became one of the most famous and well-documented UFO encounters in history. It wasn't just a fleeting light in the sky, it was a close-range encounter with multiple witnesses and a central figure who went missing for days. The story was turned into a book, The Walton Experience. Later, the 1993 Hollywood movie Fire in the Sky. These adaptations brought the story to a massive global audience. It cemented the image of the gray alien with large eyes in popular culture. However, the case has always been followed by intense skepticism. From the very beginning, many believed the event was an elaborate hoax. Critics pointed to inconsistencies in the story and the financial gains from book and movie deals. They suggest the loggers facing contract trouble may have fabricated the story for attention or money. They argue there is no single piece of irrefutable evidence. Despite critics, the case's authenticity remains compelling for many. The biggest factor is the witness testimony. 6 men saw the event, and they have all stuck to their core story for nearly 50 years. They passed polygraph tests under intense pressure when suspected of murder. It would require an incredible conspiracy for all to maintain such a complex lie for so long, especially amid public ridicule and scrutiny. For believers, their consistency and the emotional trauma they experienced are powerful testaments to their account. Today, the Travis Walton case remains an unsolved mystery. It stands as a landmark event in UFO study, a puzzle with pieces that don't quite fit. Was a young Arizona logger taken aboard an alien spacecraft? Or did a group of men pull off one of the most successful hoaxes of all time? We are left with 2 extraordinary possibilities and not enough evidence to close the book. The story forces us to question our understanding and to wonder what other secrets the universe might hold. The truth, as they say, is still out there.
Thank you for joining Strange Mystery World. If you find the video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to motivate me to create more videos and not miss out on the interesting things behind Strange Mystery World. See you in the next video.